Hello, my name is Karen Knable. I'm with the State of Vermont Department of Environmental Conservation, and I oversee the Mercury program. Today, I am going to talk to you about Vermont management standards for mercury-added thermostats. And also with us is Daniel Myers with the Thermostat Recycling Corporation, who is going to talk to you about the thermostat program that manufacturers have developed. In the state of Vermont, we passed mercury laws about 20 years ago, first to label mercury-containing thermostats, to identify the ones that had mercury in them and that they couldn't be placed in the regular trash, and also to notify the amount of mercury that was used in manufacturing these devices. Later on, we developed a law for the manufacturers to fund a program for the collection, transportation, and recycling of mercury-containing thermostats. This program was to be no cost to consumers, no cost to collectors for recycling or shipping, and there was a $5 rebate involved. Last, there was a restriction on the sale of mercury thermostats in the state. How do you know if a thermostat contains mercury? If you remove the cover from a mercury thermostat on the wall, you will see a glass ampule, usually way tucked back under, that has elemental mercury in it. If you touch the glass ampule, you will see the liquid mercury move. Also, there should be labeling on these thermostats, maybe an Hg in the circle, which is the periodic symbol for mercury, and a crossed out trash can. Mercury-containing thermostats are considered universal waste by the Vermont Hazardous Waste Management Regulations. All mercury thermostats are banned from landfill disposal, so they cannot be placed in the trash. That's the benefit of having this manufacturer-funded program. Mercury ampules, which is that glass part in the thermostat, sometimes are removed by technicians. They can be managed as universal waste, but can only be recycled through this thermostat recycling program with special permission. So the best thing to do is always to leave that ampule right in the thermostat where it's safer. Mercury thermostats must be placed in containers that are structurally sound. These are also universal waste requirements. The container must be adequate to prevent breakage and compatible with the thermostats. When we say compatible, mercury is known to bind with metals, so you never want to use a metal trash can when collecting any mercury devices. The containers that you're collecting in must be kept closed and lack evidence of leakage, spillage, or damage. Also, as a universal waste, there has to be a label on whatever container you're using. This is a standard universal waste label. It has a place where you can identify the contents. These are the approved labeling standards under universal waste. They can be labeled as used mercury thermostats, universal waste mercury thermostats, or waste mercury thermostats. The other requirement is that the accumulation of universal waste cannot be for more than 1 year on the premises. So a good way and an easy way to do that is just to date the container. And as you can see on the universal waste label here, they have a place for that. And put the date when the first thermostat is placed in the container. If you don't have a universal waste label, you can still comply with the universal waste labeling requirements by just simply writing words as to the contents and the date as to when you first placed the thermostat in the container, and the container must stay closed. Sometimes if you are operating with the thermostat recycling program, you will send off your container for recycling, and until you get one back, you might get a thermostat in whereby you could place it in a container such as this until you receive your collection container back from the Thermostat Recycling Corporation. Here are the Thermostat Recycling Corporation collection containers, and if you noticed, they are already pre-labeled right on the container as to what they are, which meets the Mercury Universal Waste standards for thermostats. The other requirement is that you need to have an accumulation start date. In the TRC box, they provide a separate sticker that you can put on the outside of the container. That's the one on the right that says accumulation date. There's also a place on the universal waste label that comes inside of the container in the shipping packet that requires that same date. And you can identify what is in the package under universal waste thermostats label. The other benefit of using the manufacturer funded program is that by law, there's a $5 cash rebate or store credit. This only applies in Vermont and Maine for the programs that are managed here. For a wholesale distributor and solid waste facility, you would fill out a form when you provide the thermostat to the facility and put it in a Ziploc baggie. And once that thermostat bin was shipped off and returned, you would get a check for $5. At a hardware store, it's a little bit of a quicker rebate in the fact that they give you a coupon worth $5 off the purchase of anything in the store. Again, my name is Karen Knable. I work for the state of Vermont, the Mercury Education and Reduction Program. And my number is 802-522-5736. If you have any questions, you can certainly call me or look on our website, www.mercvt.org. Thank you for your time today. I'm going to pass this on to Danielle Myers with the Thermostat Recycling Corporation so she can talk to you about the program itself. Thank you again.
Thank you, Karen. TRC, or Thermostat Recycling Corporation, was founded in 1998, and it's funded by the thermostat manufacturers. We manage and facilitate the collection and proper disposal of mercury-containing thermostats across the continental United States. So TRC offers two different recycling containers. Both are free to collection locations that wish to serve as a drop-off location for mercury thermostats. The first container that's been around since the beginning of the program is this large green recycling bin you see on the screen, and it can hold between 80 and 100 thermostats depending on the brand and size. The smaller pail that you see is a newer addition that can hold between 4 and 10 thermostats, and it is shipped in the box that is also shown labeled thermostat recycling. This pail is better for locations that don't see a high number of drop-offs and still wish to participate in our program. Both containers arrive with all the materials that are needed for the collection and shipment of mercury thermostats, and we'll cover those contents in a few minutes. The green bin that you see is shipped directly in the green bin. No additional material is needed or boxed, but the box that the pail arrives in, you do want to keep for the return shipment. You send it back to us. If you happen to misplace this box in between time, we can also provide one, or any box that fits the pail will also work. So each container is provided with a material packet that comes inside. Once you receive it, you want to make sure you can open the container and that the packet is inside and everything you need to collect and ship is there. Otherwise, you can reach out to us and we can provide additional materials. Some packets will contain marketing materials, especially if this is the first time that you have participated. So we provide marketing materials that you can use at the location's discretion, such as posters and window clings, so you can advertise to customers that you accept the mercury thermostats and can direct them how to do so. Depending on the type of location, there can also be rebate paperwork inside, which we will cover in a minute. That varies by location type depending on how the rebate is paid out to recyclers. And then every container comes with a liner, which is a thick, semi-clear plastic bag that you'll place all around the inside of the container and fold it over. So when people are dropping mercury thermostats off, you can place them inside the liner. That way, in case anything were to ever break, it's protected inside that liner, inside the container as well. So once you're actually ready to ship, there is a prepaid FedEx shipping label that you'll keep. It's a FedEx red and white shipping label, and then you'll have zip ties that you'll need to keep the container and the liner closed, as well as this accumulation date sticker. So that date would be the date that you accept your first mercury thermostat. So you can just stick that sticker right on the container and date it the first time you put something in it. That way you know anytime the container is filled or every year from that date, you need to ship it back to us. On this slide, we're just showing these contents that we covered previously a bit bigger. So we have the poster that says, "Don't trash it, cash it," and it can explain how you get the rebate depending on whether this is a household hazardous waste facility, a HVAC wholesaler, or a retailer. They all get the rebate, but it might vary how they do so. You also see the accumulation date sticker that you just place on the bin or the pail, as well as the red and white FedEx shipping label. And then the instruction sheet you see goes through very detailed instructions on how to collect, manage, where to place this container, and then when you're ready to ship it back, walks you step by step through that. So this will all be provided in either the green recycling bin or the small pail when you receive it. Okay, so now we're going to cover the rebate process in a bit more detail. The quickest way for a customer to get their rebate for recycling a mercury thermostat is to actually recycle at a retail location where they'll provide an in-store instant credit for recycling with them. Otherwise, any other location, you'll receive the rebate, but it may take a few months to process and receive a check in the mail from TRC. So if you're a retail location, you'll receive this $5 store credit coupon that you can provide to customers when they're recycling with you. And then you complete one form when you're shipping the container back to us with the number of thermostats that are in the bin that will confirm it processing, as well as an address to where we can send the check for the in-store credits that you gave to the customer's recycling. The other forms are for wholesale and household hazardous waste facilities, and these forms are to be filled out by a customer and then placed inside provided recycling bags with up to 10 thermostats. So previously there was a coupon. We have moved past the coupon process, and now you only need one form for every 10 thermostats that you recycle. And this also just asks for an address and the number of thermostats, and then you place it inside the plastic bag with their thermostats and the form. That way we know how many are applied to each customer. And then you can just explain to the customer that they will be paid once the thermostats have been shipped back to us and processed, and we will mail a check to them. This kind of just shows that there is a plastic bag and a form, and then you're going to put both the form and all thermostats that are counted on that form inside the plastic bag. Then you will take that bag and put it inside the liner that we talked about previously inside the container. So when you're actually ready to ship this container back to us, you'll have the plastic liner all around the container, hopefully, that has all the thermostats placed inside of it. And then you are going to twist that bag tightly so that all thermostats are contained inside it, and you can secure the twist with one of the 3 provided zip ties for a green bin. That way, in case, like I said before, anything were to break, it's all going to stay inside that liner during shipment. If you have all of the rebate materials, you're going to place those on top of the liner neatly. And please try to make sure that those rebate materials have neat handwriting, because we do need to mail checks based off what is written on those forms. Once you have everything inside the bin, you're going to flip that lid closed in an interlocking bin, and then your 2 leftover zip ties, there are holes on each end of the bin that you're going to stick the zip ties through. And then you'll have your shipping label that you're going to fill out the return address on top if it isn't already completed for you. And then you're going to place that label inside of a provided plastic bag pouch that you'll stick to the bin. So you can put the label right on the bin, but sometimes that does tend to fall off. So we provide that sticky pouch that you can put the label inside as well. This is a very similar process for the white pail. Instead of interlocking the closed lids, you're just going to twist that lid right onto the pail, and then you're going to place it in the box and put your shipping label on the box of the pail if that's what you have. And then each container actually ships with FedEx in using that provided shipping label. And so the easiest way is you can either go online and schedule a free pickup with FedEx. The website to go to is located on the shipping instructions. You can also give them a call, or if you have any issues, or it might just be easier, you can also give TRC a call and we can schedule that pre-packaged pickup for you as well. If FedEx happens to come by your location on a daily basis or pretty regularly, also your regular FedEx pickup drivers should be able to get that for you. I want to thank you for taking the time to learn about TRC's process today. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. My phone number is 212-297-2105. And my email address is danielle.myers@thermostat-recycle.org.